Captain Eric Thompson, aka Dr. Cinema. I am contacting you from the USS Hellblazer, and we are officially beginning Star Trek month. I had Quachi launch us into warp speed moments ago, and we are now in the shit. Don't know why I said that, but there you go. Star Trek month. Anyway, Star Trek is actually not is a franchise I'm not exactly that knowledgeable about. I mean, I probably know more than like the casual person for sure, but there's definitely a lot that I haven't really seen much of or seen at all. In terms of TV shows, I've only seen some of the original series and some of the next generation. Hopefully, I can increase my quantity. And I have seen several films starring the original cast and the next generation cast. But up until now, I really haven't seen any of the Chris Pine slash J.J. Abrams Star Trek films. But that has changed, because I have just watched Star Trek, the 2009 reboot. Now, the story is a little bit complicated, so let me try and simplify this by starting with the villain, Captain Nero. Nero? Nemo. Nero. He is a Romulan, and he's actually a time traveler from the future, which has Ambassador Spock in it. And in case you don't know, on the show Star Trek The Next Generation, it takes place years after the original show, and Leonard Nimoy came onto the Next Generation show as an ambassador. And he is in this movie as well, Ambassador Spock from the future. So in the future, the Romulan home planet gets destroyed, despite Spock promising he'll do whatever he can to try and stop it from happening. And enraged Captain Nero ends up time traveling back to the past along with Spock for the ride, and the Romulan ship ends up attacking and more or less destroying a Federation ship known as USS Kelvin, which James Kirk's dad was briefly a captain of before sacrificing himself in the ship to make sure all the other crew members get away safely. So years later, James Kirk ends up more or less getting pulled into the Starfleet Academy, ends up meeting all of his friends, Spock, McCoy, Chekhov, Sulu, and eventually Scotty. And he actually ends up meeting the future Spock as well, but they weren't able to stop Nero from blowing up the Vulcan home planet. But with future Spock's help, they were able to save Earth from being destroyed by this angry, time-traveling Romulan. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that this movie is both a continuation and a reboot. It's a continuation in the sense that it does feature characters from the original show, and the original timeline was at the very beginning of the movie intact with this movie, but J.J. Abrams used it as a way to free the films from continuity in order to explore new adventures and new ideas and stories, which is actually really well done in this movie. I really enjoyed this film. There is more action in the Star Trek film than probably in any other Star Trek film, but that's good. And it still has some cool ideas, good characters you actually care about. And the villain is certainly interesting with his motivations such, angry at Ambassador Future Spock for not being able to save his home planet, so now he's going back in time to destroy the Vulcan home planet and Earth. And I really like Chris Pine as Captain Kirk. He's got, of course, more famous character traits down, such as the womanizer, stubborn, a little bit of a brute. But he's also somehow a little bit nobler than the William Shatner performance. Although I should probably save that for a future episode. So, long story short, I really like Chris Pine as Captain Kirk. Simon Pegg was a pretty good Scotty. I don't remember the much of in all the other actors' names, but I know their characters. Spock, the new current young Spock, is good. I like his performance very well. Ahura, is that how you say your name? Zoe Saldana's character, she was pretty good, but seemed like she was really just there just to be something for Kirk to pursue, slash just to be the supportive girlfriend of Spock. Sulu was actually pretty fun too, and Chekhov was entertaining as well. This was, I feel, a good way for paying homage and tribute to the original show and satisfying longtime fans, but also a great way to bring in a new fan base as well. And I really enjoy this movie. Now, of course, these J.J. Abrams, Chris Pine Star Trek films are not going to be the only ones I'll talk about this month. But we're off to a good start. I love it. Guachi, prepare for warp speed. Well, that's all I have to say right now. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and launch into warp speed. See you next time.